Good evening, good afternoon, good day, depending on where you are in the world. Happy Tuesday. We're trudging our way through the work week. Hope you're all well. And welcome to virtual Spain, the south of Spain. Tonight we're going to kind of stay around the Mediterranean. We're going to start here at LEAM and make our way down to Gibraltar. Which, doesn't that sound warm and exciting? We had spring weather for a little bit, and then it got cold again, and it's going to warm up for the weekend here. So, thinking warm thoughts. Now, I was going to do another flight in the Spitfire today, but then I decided, we need a break. I love the Spitfire to death, don't get me wrong. It's time to fly something a little different. So, we're going to go say hello to the lovely chat that is with us today. We have Kozaki Flyer, hello and howdy to you as well. Wayland is here, guten Abend, mein Freund. Ben McClure is here, good evening. Goblin is here, good to see you. Nighty Night Owl, good evening, or is it buenas tardes? I guess it could be that. Granted, in the sim, it's the morning, so we get to start the day all over again and just fly. Jay Winniker's in the house, good to see you, buddy. Two-Tone Murphy is in, hello, good to see you. Glad you could be here, my friend. Hope you're doing well. We are all watching Flying Fabio go from I'm just going to get in and fly the CRJ to let's go into how things work in the CRJ. Fantastic stuff. From the sounds of it, it's an airline you actually have to fly. You don't just let the computer do everything, which sounds fantastic. So it went from being just another airliner to, maybe eventually I'll get that. Sounds fun. You actually have to fly the thing. Imagine that. Joe Corky is in the house. Hello. We got an extra hello out of Chilled Corky. 99 Owl says hello to Murph. Kingsman 9965 says hello from the pool. Hello from Michigan. Catbat9 is in. Hola, buenas tardes, todos. I probably butchered that, but I did the best that I could. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. Ken Grawley says, won't be flying tonight. MSFS decided to do a 154 gig update. That sucks, my dude, but glad you're at least in the chat. Good to see you, at least. Red Dragon CYM is here. Hello. Good to see you. It's been a while. Dougal McTavish is in. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're keeping up. Dublad99, where are we going, lad? We're taking a tour of Spain, of the southern part of Spain, down to Gibraltar. We're over to Gibraltar. We're kind of going up, over, and down. We were taking the scenic route. Scotland 737 Max, or Comet, I should say, Project is in. Good evening. Shuffle Shoes is here. Good to see you. Double A, I've just seen floating around. Was I floating around Ireland? I think I was. I was test flying, or doing a little bit of flying in tonight's plane. Doing a little bit, just kind of getting a feel for it, making sure everything worked. Viper Strike 9510 is here. Good to see you. Baracco is in. Hello. Floyd is in. Had to excuse myself from Fabio's stream. My brain started leaking out my ears. Yeah, lots of information. There's a lot that goes into flying airliners and how FMS systems work and this and that. It's a lot of information to digest all at once. I kind of want to get into maybe flying like the CJ4, just because it's a small business jet. Some more complicated stuff, but it's as close to GA as jets can get outside of, L-39s or stuff like that. Rad Pilot Randy is in. Good to see you. Yeah, the CJ4, it's got a hefty price tag on it, so that's a maybe down the line. Steve Solo is in. Hello to you, sir. Hope you're well. Let's see. Frozen is in. Good to see you. In Sim, we are at running METAR weather. Running at about 7:03 in the morning. Winds are 080 at 10. Yeah, and all that. So, yes. Fabio is very good to explain. Absolutely. I would take a course of his to learn something as an FMS system in a CJ4 or a C or RJ, you know, any day of the week. Great information from Fabio. Steve So is doing good. Very nice. If anyone can burn, yeah, yes, he can. Dangerous Brian is in. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. So, that being said, we are in fact in the Coronado PA-28, not the Just Flight one. I don't have the Just Flight one just yet. It looks fantastic, but now that the Tony Hawk edition has been patched of the Coronado PA-28, I'm gonna get flying it a little bit. A bit more, because I got one flight out of it on stream, I think, and then the update happened and broke everything. So now that we can fly it, we're gonna give it a little bit of love. Nothing wrong with the Just Flight one. It looks like we got a Spit, we've got a MB339, we've got a T45, we got all the fun stuff going today. There's a Baron. I think I saw there's a Seminole over there. So yeah, any of these runways big enough for a 7.4? I don't know, but I'd prefer if you kept the 7.4 in the hangar and fly something GA. We keep it the low and slow. Don't really do the airliners. So, this is flying here in this. Very nice. Yeah, they just updated it today, I believe, in fact. So, was it either today or last night that they updated it? So, we're going to get inside of the cockpit. We're going to turn our battery and alternator master on. We're going to turn on our rotating beacon, which apparently there isn't one. So, we'll just toss on the nav lights to indicate, hey, things are happening with the airplane. We're going to set our prop. Why are you not reading my prop control? You've got that. You've got that. Uh-oh. There we go. We got it sorted. Crisis averted. So we have fuel tanks selected to the left tank, and come down here, set a bit of a nose up trim for the pitch trim. We're gonna go ahead and turn this guy on and crack the throttle and clear prop. Technically, no. We'll turn flight sim down a little bit. Technically, I'm running off METAR weather using the Unreal Weather Live METAR program plugin. So it's reading a METAR from where we are. Winds are from the 16th day of the month, 2000 Zulu. Wind is 080 at 10 knots. Not entirely sure what that all means, but the clear skies basically. Temperature's 1.4, dew point is 9 degrees, with a pressure of 1023. So we're going to go ahead and hit the B key so we're at the right altimeter setting. Double check our gyro. We're going to turn on our avionics. On our transponder. I really like the Unreal Weather METAR. I found him through Fabio's channel. 6 knots is in. Good to see you. So I've also been using the GNS 530 mod, which also works with the 430. And get this. You go to the com setup page. You go to the next page. It gives you METAR data. And you can change it. So I can go to, where are we? We're at LEAM, so we can change that to L. E. A. M. Hit enter. It'll get the data, and there you go. It gives you the same METAR information as the Unreal Weather plugin. Isn't that fancy? Did I not say hello to Ben McClure? Well, hello, Ben McClure. If I didn't say, beacon light comes on when serve. Aha. Dangerous Brian, you need to get a. There's a plugin. It's difficult to set up. I might have to do a video on it, or poke Gibbo Ireland and say, hey, this might be a good video. Actually, I might do it because I need some video content on my channel. But that setup will also translate to the GNS 530 mod. So I look for that in the future. So we're going to go back to the nav page. We're going to select this for the route, and that has TCAS enabled. Okay, good, Ben. I didn't want you feeling left out. So now that we've got the weather there, we're going to go to the nav page, but we're going to go this direction. And look, we'll be able to see should be able to see traffic. Although we can also see terrain. So that's going to give us where we need to pull up and such. So lots of depth in the GNS 530 430 mod, and it's going to be really, really handy. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and close that little window. Turn flight sim back up just a bit because we want to be able to hear the engine. We're going to crank the throttle up so we can break momentum and get rolling. So we're gonna, there's a Mooney. Gonna ramble on down to the old runway. We're taxiing a bit fast, but that's okay. We can always lower the throttle a little bit to manage it. We are on the East USA server. Don't forget to hydrate. Sounds good, Papa Joe. Make sure everything's good enough for the flight. Now we can go ahead and get our autopilot set up as well. So we're going to do that. We're also going to turn on vertical speed to +5. We're going to aim initially for 6,500 feet of altitude for the first leg, and we'll adjust as we move on. Kind of use a little bit of braking, keep that taxi speed under control. Go ahead and toss down 1 notch of flaps. Don't necessarily need them, but it certainly does aid on takeoff. So we'll take the left lane. Good evening, Allison from bed. I heard you got into the wine. So here we are, ready to go. We've got all our friends coming up. So whenever you are ready in front. Hammy is here. I'm frantically typing this report up. Maybe able to join on the last leg. Roger that, Hammy. I hate it when work gets in the way, but we're just glad to have you. So we slowly add the power in. Now, since we're kind of doing formation-ish takeoffs, we're going to just keep it in the center of our lane. We're waiting to hit. There's 75. There's 80, and we're up. Tap on the toe brakes. Positive rate gear coming up. So trim to kind of level off a bit. It's 300 feet. Flaps are coming up. So we'll start our casual left-hand turn as we do. This is a beautiful area of the world, without a doubt. And especially doing it at sunrise, it's just going to keep getting better and better. Now, I know the Just Flight Piper PA-28 is much more popular right now than the Carenado one, and the Carenado one does have some bugs along with it, but I find it unfair to say this one's better than that one. They're just different, and I choose the one that meets the needs that you want, and the Carenado one suits my needs perfectly right now. So we're going to hide me, because nobody wants to see me. Yes, Allison, it is the Carenado PA-28, not the Just Flight. It has a few bugs. I'm not going to lie, it has a few bugs, but I'm sure they're going to be worked on. They put out a hot fix for the Tony Hawk Flap Edition. But, you know, the price point's a little better, and it still looks amazing. You can see the sun peeking over the horizon now. scared the... yeah, because I heard about it and I hadn't tried it since the update, and then I was just like, oh, how bad can it be? I took it up after that, 1 notch of flaps, instant kick flip, and I'm just like, okay, that's a legitimate issue. that's a bit of a problem. But they released a hot fix for it within the last few days, so that's not an issue any longer. And I know that they are working on some of the other bugs. I like the bezel. It scared the bezel out of you. No bezels. So it seems most everybody's up. So we're going to get in the cockpit and activate the autopilot. We need to turn that off V-lock onto GPS. Nav mode, vertical speeds +5. We're aiming for 6,500 feet. Now, remember, the bottom screen will show the terrain. So, when the terrain's red, it's higher. If it's green, it's good. Yellow's kind of questionable. You know, and now we have the top set to this regular moving map, and if we check it out, we might be able to see the traffic mode. So that's terrain again, and this is traffic, and I can, doesn't appear to see things, so we'll just go back to the moving map. Magic 888 is in. Good to see you. Hope you're well. We just took off from our initial departure at Lima Echo Alpha Mike on our way through the Spanish Southern Mountains. Southern Spanish Mountains, even. Right words, wrong order. But the more I delve into the 530 mod and the things that it can do, the more I like it. We got fireflies with us tonight. Look at them go. T45 with the MB339, both from India Fox Echo. We've got a few friends out ahead of us. Absolutely beautiful, and I love flying at sunrise. The shadows it casts, it's postcard material. Ailerons into the wind. Looks like the little fellows from Batteries Not Included follow. Yeah, I never thought of it that way, but you're absolutely correct. Man, I remember that movie. That was a good movie. I haven't seen it in years, but I remember the movie. I only flew once at I spent most of my life flying at sunrise or shortly thereafter. is the best time to get breakfast. There we go. It's the time of the day, especially in the summer months where it's cooler, so the air is more stable, less bumps. The only downside is we always flew out to our breakfast spot, and it was in an easterly direction, so we've got the sun just baking our faces, searing into our eyeballs, as opposed to on the way back where the sun wasn't blinding us the whole way. Daytrip05 is now following over on Twitch. Well, I guess we are on Twitch. Many thanks, my dude. Hope you enjoy the content. Never done the sunrise out there. It's been high noon. Try it. Get into a morning flight. Ailerons. It's beautiful. The air is much more tends to be much more stable. My first XC cross country in the very nice Papa Joe. Yeah, we flew this once on stream, and we flew it over Ohio. It was very uneventful because it's Ohio, but we got to see the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and the USAF Museum at the time. So there's that. But it's definitely a more modern rendition of the PA-28 than the Just Flight version. It's a bit cleaner. It's they certainly don't have the crisps lying all over, or the remnants of crisps on the carpet. It actually looks like it's been cleaned recently. Speak to the CFI in the next booking. Try to get. There you go. You won't regret it. We always sailed at night to arrive at a distance just after sunrise. Fair enough. So there's 6,500 feet. We want to hit the altitude button, so we'll stay there. Now, according to the fancy schmancy chart here, for the altitude that we're at, we want manifold at 22-ish. And the RPM's down to about 2,500. Is it 25 or 24? It's going to be 25, according to this thingamajobby. So I want to get it down a little long. Uh-oh. Servers died for Dougal. Not good. It's a more modern. You think of this as one that was built in the 90s instead of the 70s. I mean, the Just Flight one certainly has more character to it because, well, back then they did have a bit more character to it. So we're making our first turn on course. That's fair enough. I'm just going based on the, let's see, I've got it set to 65% power. I've got the, well, actually I've got it, yeah, I've got it right about 22, so right in between these two at 25. I'm just going by the chart. So we'll go ahead and switch tanks preemptively. Look at the effect on the prop. For a second there on my stream, the Fireflies look like a launch out of Vandenberg on my stream. Oh dear. Look at them go. Is the Carinato 20R? I couldn't honestly tell you for sure. It only has a 2-bladed prop, so it may be the 20R, not the 201 horsepower. Draco's in. Good to see you. So far, things are good. Knock on wood. Hey, it rhymed. Hammy says, I was almost about to tell you to brake and head for the dirt due to a missile coming after you. Now, they're missiles of some sort or another. Look at that scenery, though. Look at the state of it. I have to confess I've added 220 to my Just Light version. I have heard reports that the Just Light one seems a bit slow. I watched Gripper Sim's video on it earlier today, and he was saying that it's almost too easy to taxi on the ground, where you don't have to add a lot of power and it'll just taxi. That's another thing I've heard. Gotcha, Elons. 20 extra ponies. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, so far no airplane that's been released for Microsoft Flight Sim hasn't been without the need for a tweak here and a tweak there. So, Gripper Sim had his criticisms of the Just Flight PA-28, and there's certainly some criticisms with this one from Carinato, but in the end, it'll work out, and the consumer, which is us, win in the end. This thing is a beast on the ground. You really have to put a lot of oomph into it to get it rolling on the ground with the Carinato one. When you check the visor, we'll make sure you read the other chart. It taxis way too quick. Ground drag too low. On the Just Flight one? Or the Carinato one? Because this one takes a lot of oomph to get rolling. Now, what's the other chart you speak of? Because there's no chart on that one. Yeah, it says best power mixture. I don't know. We are cruising at a nice 123 knots indicated though. Oh dear, we lost them. There they are. Look at that. Don't hit the ground. Where am I zooming in at? Because I'm actually closer to 6,800 feet, and I follow that over. Doesn't get into 75% power, but it does have the 65%, so I kind of put it at 22 or 2,500 RPM. Power setting table for the Lycoming model. Oh yeah, 201. Yeah, and that's kind of, I use that as the guide when I set my power. So I'm at about 2,500 RPM and about 22 inches of manifold pressure. So, and we're, pushing 6,700 feet. 60, 65, 67, 66, somewhere around there. Yeah, close to 65, I guess. We'll double check our baro, directional gyro. Aha! So now you can see over here where it's showing the terrain, it's showing those mountains over there and those mountains over there as being higher than we are, hence the red. So that's a cool feature. So I'm really liking the GNS 530 mod. Adds quite a bit more depth to the default. Plus, you can get it to integrate with METAR information. That reflection, yeah. It's crazy. You can see all of my fans below. It takes you back. The SR-22 is a good little plane as we make our second turn. That's an excellent thing to ask. Let's see. According to the weather, the METAR reads from 2030 Zulu, winds are variable at 1 knot, so it really doesn't matter. The winds are basically non-existent. So we'll go with the runway 27, as that's going to be more of a straight-ish in approach. So runway 27 for Lima Echo Golf Romeo. Thank you, Sim Toolkit Pro. Hey, look at him go. Gear down 3 green. They're kind of bluish on the Carinata one, or maybe my eyes are just broken. There's the fireflies. What's your ground speed? Can't seem to catch you yet. I know I'm in a faster bird. I'm indicating on the airspeed indicator a little over 120 knots. Ground speed is 142. Catbat9 says Granada. Well, we're heading to Granada. Hello, Mudda. Hello, Fada. Here I am at Camp Granada. Pardon me. Fine tune the engine settings. We're also running full mixture, which is incorrect. beautiful countryside, and we get to see even more of it as the sun comes up over the hills. There's an extra. There's the thunderflies coming in. Nicely done. Look at this. Isn't this look like a place you want to visit? Once the world gets back to normal? Just absolutely beautiful. Goblin says, I worked there a long time ago for a month. Nice countryside. Nice. It certainly looks beautiful. Just something about the PA-28 looks like you could blast through the sky. It's a nice looking plane. I'll give it that. My dad did flight instruction in one a number of years ago. Then a guy rented it, took it up north, and on his way back was showboating, flew low over a lake, caught a power line with the tail, and down she went. I'm still a bit partial to the Cessnas, because with the Cessnas, you get to see more during cruise. Or at least more of the ground and less of the sky. Low wing is much better for pattern work, though. At least, that's how I see it. Anybody else hear a boom? I heard a boom. Papa Joe B, yes, there's a Garmin 430 and 530 mod. It kind of does both at one because it's a similar system, just different size screen. And it's phenomenal. I do have a link to it on my Discord under Freeware Avionics. And the more I look into it and the things that it can do, the more I'm liking it. Being able to pick up METAR information. METAR information. What did I say? You ever say something and then 2 seconds later you completely forgot what you said? I'm having that kind of day. The mod's great. Use it. Nice. Yes, that's the one. It's up there with the working title G1000 mods, or Garmin mods and CJ4. It's kind of a must-have because it adds so much. Yeah, Brian, I'm having a few of those today, and that's not good. About to make another left turn here. What's the... It's kind of cloudy and hazy and a little chilly. So, not fantastic, but the weekend's looking pretty nice so far. So, the weather is looking for our first stop pretty easy going. Cannot wait for a bit warmer spring weather. I won't be happy during the summer because it'll just be too hot. And I'm one of those people, I like it cooler. You know, probably in the... Forgive me for not knowing the translation into Celsius, but when it's in the mid-60s, the lower to mid-60s of Fahrenheit range, that's real comfortable for me because I can wear a t-shirt and jeans, be comfortable, start doing some work and still be comfortable and not sweating to death. Yep. It's like I always say, you can always add more layers to stay warm. You can only take so many off before the police come and arrest you. At least outside of your own home. So we've got some terrain coming up. Oh, hello. So we're going to go to heading mode real quick. No worries, Mr. Whitaker. So we're going to 25 degrees heading mode. As Murphy says, the mountains, they don't move. Okay, I might have to do a little more. Should get us around the old mountain. Now, I can only imagine that there's a lot of olive fields here. Or olive groves. They grow olives here, I think. And oranges. Ooh. So more and more liveries keep coming out for the Spit, which makes me happy, but they're never for the clipped wing version, which makes me sad. Because I like the clipped wing version. In Warbird news, though, Aeroplane Heaven has announced yet another Spitfire. So not only are they working on a Spitfire Mark 1A, they're also working on a Mark 5B. And there goes the cockpit sound. So that's a bug. And everybody's gone. Goblin got the free French Spitfire. Awesome. We'll just wait for our friends to come back, because they will in time. 99 Owl Somai. So you're not alone in the sense that you're flying alone. So we're all here together separately. If that makes any sense. I'm not lost. I'm right where I was. Probably. They were fine. They were working okay until now. So we're gonna go ahead and should be okay to go back on nav mode. Yeah. Is what it is. It's not the first time it's happened, won't be the last. Wombat49 says, "G'day, taking a few minutes to check in." Awesome. Much appreciated. Words. Words and water. Talking and drinking water doesn't mix. So, thanks for checking in. We're here flying in Spain, the southern part of Spain. We departed out of Lima Echo Alpha Mike, and we're almost to Lima Echo Golf Romeo for our first stop. Hope you're doing well, Wombat. Absolutely. Absolutely stunning scenery. So we're about to rejoin the Magenta line, and the airport should be off in this general direction somewheres. There we go. Airport in sight. So we can go ahead and actually start a light descent. We'll do 200 feet a minute. I'm going to reduce that. We're going to reduce that. Nighty Night Owl says not alone anymore. Well, I'm still Johnny No Mates. So we'll just give it a minute. The town of Granada is in front. Very nice town with historical thing. Has the Alhambra Place. Nice. Beautiful countryside, though. Look at the terrain. Imagine what it's going to look like after they update it. Just loaded my very first Spitfire video on Discord for your viewing pleasure. I did see that as I was getting ready for today's flight, and I will be 100% sure to check it out after the flight. Alhambra Palace, gotcha. So we have the airfield in sight. It's directly ahead. Look at the scenery, though. Can you imagine living here? Just being surrounded by mountains and stuff? Now, you gotta ask, are those olives or oranges? Because it kind of looks like a dot matrix printer printing them out. So we're gonna go ahead and I think I see some fireflies up ahead, so we're getting closer to seeing people. We're gonna go ahead and trim up. I usually spend a few weeks every summer near Almira, flown in and out of so many. Nice. So we'll start reducing engine power, so that we can... Hey, we got fireflies. I like it when we have fireflies. So we're going to get that guy out of the way. And we're going to turn on the face cam, the webcam for traumatic effect. So we're landing on 27, so we want to hit 180 for our base leg. We can go ahead and lower gear. We'll hit up a notch of flaps. Wow, that sun reflection, very difficult. There's the runway. So mixture prop go to full, and we start reducing power. Keep the trimmed. Keep the speed down. And toss in another notch of flap. We may have to do a circle. Look him go. Well, we'll kind of S-turn this a little bit, so we'll keep straight, and then we'll make our right-hand turn to a 180-degree course ish. The nose up, keep the speed down, keep the descent going. So we're just keeping the airfield in sight as we do these descending turns. Is this way it lengthens the time that we have before we get to the threshold and can land, and gets us closer to the glide slope without having to just keep going around and circling and whatnot. We're getting there. Yep, it's getting there. Not so much worried about wind, just losing some altitude. And we're losing the altitude, just... So we're going to idle the throttle now. Do a bit of a slip, so a little bit of right rudder down on the right, left aileron. That's not enough. We're going to have to do a circle. This thing, I think one of the issues is it has, the flaps might produce a bit too much in the lift department, not enough in the drag department. There's a stall warning. Increase throttle just a little bit. Go. That's much more manageable, so we'll reduce throttle down again. I'm sure that the update for Spain will come soon. We're a little above glide slope, but, well, we got plenty of runway. Throttle is still idle. We got a Spitfire down. We're losing speed. Right on the center line. Oh, we bounced just slightly. Look at him go. So, yeah, 60 foot a second. That's not too bad. So we'll start braking now. Get her pulled off to the side. Many thanks. So, so we're going to park it here. We're going to do this. We're going to hide me. We're going to turn on the nameplate, which we still need a toggle button for. Back, resume. And we come in. There's Magic 888's in. There's Count Zepp. There's Barranco in a spit. Now, if you wouldn't mind clearing the runway and let people have a clear view of the runway, that'd be awfully kind of you. As we get ourselves set up for landings. There's Dougal in. Very nice approach. Here comes Viper Strike down the runway. Needed to restart, spawning shortly. Roger that. BC Kingsman at the other end in a DA62. Very nice choice. Kozaki's in with, looks like an Arrow, Druid with a Mooney, and Draco with a Seminole. There goes an extra of Viper Strike. We got a twin incoming. It's a Baron of Rad Pilot Randy. There's Red Dragon in a Seminole. Very nice. There's Chilled Corky in the... Is that an Arrow? Might be an Arrow. Oh, that's weird. Oh, we'll just delete that. Cap at Night is in. Very nice. There's Dangerous Brian and Waylon. Viper Strike is in. There's USA PR1 and a Bonanza. Draco's got to run. Glad to have you along for the time that we did. We'll catch you next time. And Jay Whitaker's back. All's well. Very nice. Goblin, this money want to go left. Mooney wants to go left on Landon's. Interesting. So, let's see. Is everybody down? We got Skydive Man coming in and Steve Solo. We'll let them get landed. And then I've got to go back to the menu and reload. Not necessarily the whole sim, but I gotta reload. I gotta load in the next leg of the flight plan. Like the air show is very nice. Very nice. So Skydive Man's in. So there's HCBR and Frozen. We've got Steve Solo coming in. USA Piero, have you heard any chance of someone's working? I've not heard, but don't take that as nobody's working on it. I'm sure somebody is somewhere, but I have not heard. So everyone's down. We're gonna go ahead and switch to here as I get ready for the next leg of the trip. Waylon's off. You have a good night. We'll catch you next time. Alright, so we're here now. And load the next leg of the flight plan. There. There, we want time closer to 8 o'clock. Which is good. Hit the fly button. So we're just waiting on the sim. Oh me, oh my. It's a rookie mistake. I hate to see it. All right. So go back over yonder. And turn you back on. Give us some noise. Well, we don't want those on yet. Goes forward. Sure that we're right. Idling at the right setting. Check our altimeter. So, yeah, we're gonna go into comm setup. Go to here. Now, that's where we are, but we want to double check our where we're at now. So that's LEGR. I should have turned the knob the other way. We hit enter, getting data. So wind 150 at 4. Skies are fine. Temperature 13, 2.9. So we're good on that front. We're gonna move this to terrain again. So that just indicates we're on the ground, more or less. We can increase the range a bit. Let's see, we want to go back to here, go to this. Sure, we don't need that on. We don't need that on. Make sure our trims a little bit nose up. So 150, and we've got an east-west runway. So 01, so we might actually want to take off at runway 9. But it's a light wind, so we'll just deal with it. So parking brake is off. We're going to add a bit of power to get rolling. Nice, simple airport layout, hard to get lost, which is always nice for someone like me. So we're going to go in here, we're going to tune comms to a standard Unicom frequency, and we're going to, roll in the dirt a little bit. We got distracted. So we're rolling down to the active. Doing a fast taxi. Beautiful countryside, just absolutely stunning. Let's see, where were we at Sunday? Sunday we flew the Spitfire over Indonesia with maritime orders. Yesterday we started the Orient Express flight series with Murph over on the YouTube, and tomorrow we're back with Murph, flying probably over Ireland because tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. So make sure you're wearing something in green so no one pinches you. Is that a thing over in Ireland? Is getting pinched for not wearing something green a thing, or is that an American thing? Because I've already heard that the green beer is an American thing. Of course, American beer is mostly awful anyway, at least the big brew names. Troops are all lined up. How about that? So, whenever you're ready, lads, tally ho. We'll let them do what it looks like they're trying to do, a formation takeoff. So, heaven forbid, I would not let them. It's an American thing? Okay. So we got Test Pilot 72, Steve Sola, HCBR, Frozen, and Skydive Man. Look at that. So we'll follow suit. We'll start rolling on the P40 issues in IL2. We were about the other night and can confirm it's not rep. Ha! So we'll put one notch of flaps down. There's 60 knots. There's 70. There we go. Tap on the toe brakes. Gear coming up, positive rate. At low altitude, it can outturn and outdive a VF-109. Aha! If you wouldn't mind staying out of the airliners, it'd be greatly appreciated. We don't really do those on the channel. So we're going to circle the field while we're going to go ahead and actually turn off nameplates. So I'm going to disappear on your screen for a little bit. And I'm back. They really need a toggle button for that. Definitely didn't get as much altitude as I had intended to, but such that it is. So we're going to go ahead and get into cockpit. We're going to get that ready. We're going to get this ready. We're probably going to go to about, we'll call it 4,500. Make sure that's on GPS. And click the button. Weird. So it'll hide me. As we check on in the Fireflies, we're getting around. Round, round, get around. I get around. Ooh. So we're at 3,500 almost. We might be okay at 4.5. We'll let ourselves get to 4.5 and see how it looks. Joey Bolo 77 is in. Good to see you. Hope you're well. How you doing? Welcome to Spain. We just left Granada. Just as a footnote of history, in North Africa, 3 RAF squadrons had 283 kills to 100 losses in P40s. Nice. check out our altitude. We're coming up on our desired altitude, so we're going to get ready. Just lurking while working again. Many thanks. Lurks are always welcome. Hopefully work's going well for you. And yeah, Spain is... Oh, there goes the thunderflies. We kind of missed them. Spain is beautiful. Can't wait to see what they do once they go around updating it. And there's 4,500. Make sure our altimeter's right. Reset our camera. Do that. And we're there. We're at our altitude, so now we need to set cruise power. We're going to consult the chart. So 4,500. We're going to go over here. We're in the 75% horsepower range, so 4,000. We put it at, we'll put it at 25, or well, 24 and a half at 2,500 RPM. So 24 and a half inches of manifold pressure, and we're going down to 2,500 RPM. Nice goblin. So we're a little more on the RPMs. There we go. We're going to pull back on the mixture and readjust RPMs as needed. We should be good for cruise power. Absolutely stunning. Here we go. We got the thunderflies coming in. Look at them go. Just mind the ground, fellas. Yeah, so I really like the Just Flight, the Coronado Piper Arrow. Little bugs here and there, but nothing that won't be fixed. Magic 888 is off. Good to have you along for as long as you could. We'll look forward to seeing you next time. So you take care. So Thursday's flight will be another continuation in the Chase the Cup series as we head to Atlanta, Georgia, the state, not the country. And that's going to be quite the scenic tour in its own right. The countryside is very much like Cyprus. Nice. So I'm looking forward to that little flight. Don't know, haven't sorted out next week's flight plans, but keep an eye on the old Discord channel for updates on that. Of course, flight plans can always be adjusted based on new aircraft available. Ooh, Butterflies are doing their thing again. Nice. Piper Strike, we need to visit Georgia Tech University and Turner Field when we're in Atlanta. We'll see what we can do. I think they need to do a little work on the sounds for the Piper Arrow. It almost sounds kind of like it's in a can. At least at times. But overall, I really enjoy the plane. It may not have the in-depth features that the Just Flight 1 has. May not have that retro styling that's quite appealing. But I like the Coronado one just the same. Still has that, looks good, flies decent feel to it. Look at the fans on the hill there. Yeah, the Coronado fleet definitely has an odd commonality sound issue, and I'm sure I would imagine that they're aware of it and are trying to sort it out. But for now, it's just something we gotta live with. It's sad but true. Yeah, 100% Papa Joe. You know, and I really want to like the Just Flight one even more, and I wanted to get it at release, but the price point itself compared to the feature set, just to my personal to my personal situation, didn't add up. Goblin got the autopilot in the Just Flight Arrow to work. Agreed, plus having to pay for an upgrade for the turbo was this one. 100%. I agree completely. Had they released the Piper Arrow 3 at $45, and it would include the Piper Arrow 4 with the T-tail, I would have been sold, because that's two aircraft for the cost of one. And although the discount is fairly heavy on the Arrow 4, if you buy the Arrow 3, that's still $65-ish, close to $70 for two planes. And, well, two planes that are basically the same plane with minor differences. And to me, that's a hard sell. You look at like the F-15 for, just as it was. You got four variations of the F-15 for $40. I can't really judge the CRJ price. It's study level. I'm not much into the airliners, so this is going to be coming from somebody that really can't be a very good judge of it. $50 seems reasonable, considering that some things some of the study level airliners can go upwards of $100. What little bit I've seen of it on the Flying Fabio's channel, it looks phenomenal and it looks very well done. A little niggly bit here and there, but $50 seems reasonable without really knowing too much about airliners in general. So I would say reasonable, but with a heavy asterisk. Tycoon says CRJ is absurd as a casual. Well, absolutely. It's definitely, the CRJ is definitely not geared towards the average casual flyer. It's definitely geared towards the people that want more of a study level sim. Time for me to get some sleep. You have a good night, Dougal. You rest well, and we will keep in touch on the Discord and see you in the next flight. I thought I got the deluxe version to get all of the planes. Well, you got all the ones that the premium deluxe got you all the default ones, all the ones coming from a solo. So there's that. It didn't account for third-party add-ons. Papa Joe just bought the 339, but I'm really thinking I'm going to go for the T45 if it's not too expensive as well. Otherwise, I can wait for the T45. I think it's about the same price as the MB339, and they're both really good. I really like both of them. And zoom. The price is reasonable for the CRJ. This is a huge model, but I'm not very much in an airliner. Fair enough, Goblin. It's all about yeah. Tuto Murphy says the CRJ is very good considering the level of systems modeling. It's a nice go-between from the GA to airliner. To compare its price versus PMDG, usually $90 plus, it's not bad. And that's kind of what I've been going on, Murph, because I can't really have I don't really have an educated opinion about airliners in general. And the CRJ looks very well done and very well system modeled. I'm not in a position to really judge, but based on the PMDG, I'll get it. Being roughly $90, $100 or more, $50 seems pretty reasonable. We are on the East U.S. server, Tycoon. 69 says, yeah, I would agree on CRJ. It depends on what you fly. Not yeah, and I'm not big into airliners. That being said, as an airliner, considering watching Fabio, it seems like you actually have to fly it. You can't just set the computer and go. I may eventually actually try it out. I'm not much into the airliners, the low and slow, the warbirds, even some jets. That's my cup of tea. Airliners, not so much. You might as well just drive a bus, as the clouds rolled in. Goodness. But the CRJ, it looks interesting. At least interesting enough for me to try out, but I'd want to get familiar with FMS systems. So I'd probably get into the CJ4 first, just because I don't have to pay for that. Goblin Zeus, the ATR would be much more fun than the CRJ for me. Nice, yeah. Look, the free model or the freeware CTR looks pretty nice. Dangerous Press says, yeah, 100%. That is where my heart is and always shall be. It's nice to fly some different stuff, from time to time, but I'm all about the GA and the Warbirds and some jets. CJ has a lot of systems which have been fun to learn, plus it's very and the hands-on part is what really actually piqued me, because it's just like you get in an Airbus or a 7.3 or whatever, and it's all about you set up the computer on the ground, you take off, you let the computer take over, and then you land it, and that's boring. Very nice, Goblin, but hearing that the CRJ is much more hands-on, that appeals to me. But that being said, I prefer to learn in something like a CJ4, because when it comes to jets and stuff, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm not going to pay for an aircraft that I'm not going to know how to fly without, having to spend weeks learning it. Where the CJ4, I'll have to pay for it, and the working title version is fantastic. So it's something I wouldn't mind getting into, and I guess Fabio has a nice tutorial on it, but I don't know if he's gone into too much depth in it based on the chat from earlier, so we'll have to see. Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure, Tycoon. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the Thunderflies. Yeah, they do a phenomenal job flying in formation. Just go vroom. Oh, 100% Dangerous Brian. And I'm thinking if I'm flying jets, I'm probably going to be within 10 to no less, probably no more than 10 to 15,000 feet, because I still want to see the scenery. But the CJ4, it's nice because it's the smaller of the biz jets, and it's something I could get behind learning. Whereas the Airbus, the big tube liners, it's just like eh. And I don't say that to dog anybody that likes them. It's just, it's not for me. Papa Surf is in. Is there a way to lock onto another plane and stay? Not that I'm aware of. It's just a lot of skilled players. Skill, thing, words. So we're going to check the weather at our destination. No meets are available. Awesome. So we're going to do a little bit of research. We're about halfway through this leg. 21 minutes to go, roughly. Oh me, oh my. Going to LEAM-LEGR. Which, wouldn't you know, it probably isn't on Sky Vector. Sweet. There they go. So we're going to check the weather real quick. So we're getting weather from LEMG. Okay, so weather LEMG. So that's down by the coast. Makes sense. See, also for $50, the new plane. Thoughts for for people with the premium deluxe, they got ripped. I don't have it, but if you did, you're spending racks. That's personal opinion. It's not uncommon for flight sims, realistically, because I've bought several airplanes thus far. But, you know, personally, I look at it more as a investment, because you're getting stuff that's not included with the sim. You know, there's no CRJ included with MSFS. You know, the same could be said for sceneries and whatnot. And she is real cloudy right now. At least for me. It's a little, you know, a little soupy, but we're hitting a pocket there. I think AS Old Veteran would call that a sucker hole. Yeah, 50 bucks is a lot, but taking into consideration the amount of effort that went into it, I mean, Flight Sim had to change a lot of stuff to get it to work in general. Roger that, Papa Joe. Good day to you, Papa Surf. So let's check on this to see how we're going. So let's go to that. Brian, we might be, yes. Let me look at the map. Yeah, we probably will. Hopefully we get a bit more updated weather that's not so, you know, murky. But anticipate runway 24. This is going to be a shorter runway, so this is going to be fun. Looking like a day at sea in the Bering Strait. Kingston, have a good night. You take care of yourself. We'll catch you on Discord and the next stream. So we're about 14 minutes out. Hopefully the weather clears up a little bit. If not, we'll make do. RJB Coronado PA-29 floats on landing, so short runways are a challenge. Yeah. But that's why we like flying. It's the challenge, isn't it? At least that's what I'm telling myself. There we go. Pardon me. Oh, they're slowing down to fly in formation as we're heading towards the cloud. Ooh, are those... No, we should be good terrain-wise. Hopefully. Keep an eye on it. So we are starting to get back into the low country. Not low enough to descend quite yet, but yeah, we're gonna stay at this altitude. We should be good, but yeah. Yeah, and Papa Joe, I think they tossed out the hot fix because the update broke the flaps. I have a feeling that they're taking the feedback of, you know, this doesn't seem quite right and that doesn't seem quite right. And once they release a full-on patch, it'll be even better. Hello. And look at that. The skies are clearing. So I will say I have been enjoying the challenge of running with real weather. Don Quixote would be happy in this part of Spain. Very nice. I, Don Quixote, the Lord of La Mancha. I can never remember the words after that line. So, fun fact, with the MB339 update, they made it so that on the A model you can have pylons and extra fuel tanks. So, how about them apples? The settings you said it seemed to work for me. Awesome. Yeah, it seems to have helped me out a great deal. So, you know, fingers crossed, knock on wood, and all that fun stuff. Look at that. Isn't that something? Start pressing buttons. There we go. I should make some run. Yeah, so they changed the sound a little bit. They added a couple of neat features. The pylon tanks they added based on weight of different stations. They had a nice change list. They made it basically it's quality of life stuff that they added in, based off of some of the stuff they were able to do with the T45. But it's real nice now. And the MB339 is a fun aircraft in general. But they made it even a little better, I would say. So heads up, Thunderflies, there will be a turn to the left coming up soon, so keep your head on a swivel for the turn. And with the upcoming potential for new warbirds being released, we may start planning another trip through the Mach Loop, the Warbird edition. Might change the originating spot and the rest of the flight plan, but we'll make sure to go through the Mach Loop again at some point with some Spitfires and maybe some Mustangs and Corsairs and P-40s. All that fun and exciting, dangerous flying. So we'll look ahead real quick. We're going to probably start a descent as well. So we're going to go to vertical speed -3. So turning coming up at was it Orpe? Orpe? O-R-I-P-E. So here in a few seconds, we'll be making a slight left turn. And start turning now. How's the nice break? We got one sticking with us. And now he's breaking off. So we're going to pull back on the power a bit more. Keen Lafford is in. How you doing? Or should I say Count Lafford? Hope you're well. We're about 5 minutes from our destination, so we're definitely going to keep the speeds down as we continue to descend. Now, this isn't going to be a big airfield, so don't expect too terribly much. But we're doing our best to keep our speeds down. Have a look out and see if we can't find it. There goes the old extra. There, that's the button I wanted. And we wanted this one. So this could get very interesting. Okay, so it looks like it's along this river before it gets to the lake. So somewhere in this general area. We are flying in the south of Spain. We're on our way to Gibraltar. as Catbat predicts a -110 landing. May the odds ever be in your favor. Hello. Well, I see a Firefly down there flying on the deck. And I see a building. This might be our airfield. Let's see. Look at that. 240. That might be it. Might not be. So we're in the gear speed range, so we're going to drop gear now. We're even going to get a notch of flaps in. We're going to turn the camera on for dramatic effect. Let's see. Well, oh, there it is. There it is right there. She's a tiny one. So we're going to go in here, turn off the autopilot, go back over there, and we're going to go ahead. Well, mixture goes to full. We'll put the prop at full. We're going to start our descent now. We're going to sink a bit, sink like a rock a bit. Sink like a rock, and you will not float. See what I did there? So we have the runway in sight. Ben McClure's off. Things to do. Glad you enjoyed it, and we will catch you on the next stream. Just rocking and a rolling, rocking and a rolling, Barbara Ann. Ba 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 Bran. There's the Thunderflies. So it seems for the rest of the trip we won't have to go too terribly high in the sky. Put notch number 2 for flaps in. We're at idle throttle, so we're gliding actually quite nicely. Put that back to there. See if that helps any. So we're gonna try to slip it. And it does appear that we might have a GICNA. So if you're in an airliner, would you mind changing into something with a propeller in front of it? Or kindly find somewhere else to fly. There's full flaps. So we're going to make the best of this despite someone being quite rude. And touchdown on the numbers. Got a little bit of break in, but we're down. How about that? Flaps are up. I'm going to pull off to the edge. And then pull off to the side here, set the parking brake. We're Hide me, go to the menu. We're gonna skip this track. Back, resume. Why do you do that? Insert, camera, speed. And off we go to the races. So, may the odds be ever in your favor. It appears that the runway, while very short, it's not undoable. It was a bit of a hard landing, but, well, you know what? We got it down. There's Dangerous Brian. Papa Joe B in the Arrow. There's Catbat 9. There goes the Thunderflies. There's Red Pilot Randy and the Baron. Red Dragon and the X-Cub. Viper Strike overflying. $99 out. It's pity my livery doesn't show. I'm in a DA62 with the Spanish Maritime Rescue livery. I'll post a pic in the Discord. Feel free to drop a link into my Discord if you want. I like being able to see the common liveries that people are using on the flight, so drop it in the into the Discord onto my Discord, and we will definitely get it up and running so that we can see it in the future. I was in Spit. Yeah, the Spit's kind of being goofy right at the minute. Yeah, it's kind of weird right now. The Spits and liveries, you can have the same updated version and it won't show. It's very odd. There's Lotus Geek loading in. There's Druid. Very nicely done. It's not borked, it's just it went sideways. There's Tycoon in with the MB339. Nicely done. And we got Kozaki inbound. Nicely done, Thunderflies. You have a good night, Shuffle Shoes. We'll catch you next time. You take care. Ooh. Fantastic flying by the Thunderflies for certain. There's Skydive Man. Nicely done. Here comes HCBR. Nicely done. We believe in you, Kozaki. Oh, you're in the Waco. Oh dear. Well, you made it. There's Test Pilot. Very nice livery. So, that being said, we're going to switch to this screen. And we're going to switch over to a new flight plan. Now, Papa Smurf, I realize that you and I have a difference of opinion on things. And I know you think you're being hilarious. And I'm all about having a good time and having a laugh, but if you wouldn't mind, kindly, please, show us a slight ounce of courtesy, if you don't mind. So we're going to load up the final flight plan of the evening. Southern Spain. Someone had a difference of opinion with myself, and now they're trying to have a laugh and get a rise out of me, likely. They're probably about 12 years old and don't understand politeness. So that's what we want. That's about right. This time I'm going to remember to do this. Okay. That's good. That's we'll put it about there. In fact, I'm going to take a minute. Quite indeed, Dangerous. So, if you'll excuse me for a moment, I need to take care of some brief business. So, we're going to switch to this screen. And we're back with webcam. We had to take a brief stop inside of the fixed-based operator as we prepare ourselves for the next leg of the adventure. Have lights on both. Well, we don't want the avionics on yet. We'll get the engine started. Like the program is in the house. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Much appreciated, Winokur. Avionics coming on. We're just going to turn all the lights on for the sake of it. So we're going to, we have that. We're going to switch to that screen. We shouldn't need to worry about terrain, but for kicks and giggles, we're going to turn on the traffic setting. I'm going to increase the range a mite, just to see what pops up. Put that to VFR. I'm going to make sure that we're running the right altimeter setting. That's good, that's good. We want that. About there. Parking brake is off by default, so parking brake is off. I'm going to increase throttle to start rolling along. Not flying today. I'll be pilot monitoring. Fair enough. Hope you enjoy the scenery that is the south of Spain, and we're making our way towards Gibraltar. Alright, so we're rolling. Now, we're going to stay on the runway for a brief moment, but we will certainly drive around the Thunderflies, who are doing an epic formation for takeoff. And everybody is so politely ready to go at the end of the runway. Isn't that lovely? So, whenever you all are ready, shall we commence liftoff? And we did in fact pay for the whole runway, so we're going to use it. Look at the lake. Look at the lake. So tally ho, lads, when you're ready. One notch of flaps down for takeoff. And I'm going to turn the name tags off while I'm thinking about it before we get airborne. Because then we don't have to worry about, oh, Scatter, he disappeared, oh, the horror. So, mixture full, rich. Slowly add power into the engine. Off runway 24. There's 40 knots. We may have to add a second notch of flaps. Yeah, we're going to. So, up Simba. There's a road. Still brakes. Coming up. Sorry, taking off the wrong way. No worries, Brian. So that was a fun little challenge of an airfield, and you all did spectacularly. I'm quite proud of all of you for making it in. Proud of you for being a fantastic community of upstanding folks. Will hide me. Being a part of the Firefly community has been such a joy. And I look forward to all the shenanigans that we're able to get into this coming year as the sim continues to mature and we get new content, whether it be utilities, liveries, aircraft, or sceneries. As more Fireflies get in the air. So we're going to go ahead, get our autopilot set up. We want that on GPS, nav mode, and we don't want to go too much. We're probably going to aim for about, we'll say 2,500 to 3,000 feet, maybe 3,500. 2,500 I think should be okay. Tried to do the plan around any major mountains. Hey Farbro, what's the name of shenanigans? Well, we might go to 3,500. What do you think? There's a solar farm, or a bunch of greenhouses. And the Thunderflies, they're just so good. Tell you what, we're gonna keep it at 2,500. We'll adjust if we need to. We're gonna set our engine settings. So we're at 2,000. So if we set it to 25 and a bit at 2,500 RPM. 25 and a bit. At 2,500 RPM. Dangerous Brian says 2,500 should clear it. Awesome. We should be on good cruise power. Awesome. So my water bottle is now effectively empty. Makes me sad. Should have refilled it while we were at the FBO. But you know, it just, things happen. But then again, I do have a habit of hitting mountains. It's like we were saying yesterday, if it weren't for the Fireflies, Murph, would have been smeared into so many mountainsides and missed so many airports. But that's why we're a community. We say, hey, Murph, Murph, look out, there's a mountain. Murph, those don't move. Ooh, mind the trees, fellas. Well done. It's true. It would have been Murph down so many times. And we got your back, Murph. We won't let you crash in the mountains. Mostly because we're flying information and don't want to hit the mountain either. But it's all good. I saw you on the world map exploring the mountains of southern Spain. I hope they're beautiful. Follow me! Don't follow me! Oh, it's so good. So I hope everyone's having a decent start to their week. It's Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day. We've got to start a series with Danger Sprying and Two-Toe Murphy in Mountain Hunters. You'd think that they could see them, but they never see it coming. Oh goodness. But it's such a wonderful thing being able to share this experience with people. And of all the community, the flight sim communities out there, the Firefly community is just the absolute best. Yeah, there's so many great flight sim content creators out there nowadays. I'm so proud to be a part of, the Fireflies. And that's why I haven't really come up with a name of my own for my own community, because I think of, we're the same community as the Two-Tone community, so we're just the Firefly community. Whether it's me streaming or Murph streaming or Allison streaming, we're all the Fireflies. We're all part of the same family. And it's such a blessing to be a part of it. Took the P44 Caradano and added Blackboard. Nice. That is one nice thing that folks have done to the PA44 and even the Moody is made the whole instrument panel black instead of gray, and it's easier on the eyes. Sure, there's some scientific reason why they make it gray, but well, 99 Owl to the right of us is Jerez, hometown of Sherry. Nice. It's a big circle in that field. Jerez is a training base for Aer Lingus cadets. Nice. Maybe I'm pronouncing that too French. Whereas they got a deal on paint. Oh, probably. They got a deal on the paint for an exchange of Guinness. Nice. Ooh. There's an air bump. A little bit of turbulence going over the hill. Here they come. Look at them go. I have to say, Coronado know how to make a plane look good. Yeah, absolutely. Once they get the little niggly bits fixed and listen to some feedback from the community, it's going to be fantastic. And it has every right to fly alongside the Just Flight PA-28. You know, because it's easy to sit there and compare and say, oh, this one's better than that one, but the problem is it's very subjective. You know, it's very based on your personal qualifications for something. You know, as you know, and no matter how objective we say that we are, saying that one thing is better is always going to be subjective. It takes a lot of self-control to be like, look, these are the differences. And actually, this is something Fabio went into today when somebody asked him if he would recommend buying the CRJ. I mean, he basically, not verbatim, but in essence, he basically said, I don't do recommendations. It's got to, you know, especially right out of the box, because it might, you know, I could say, yeah, go for it now, but in a week it might be awful for one reason or another. And, you know, nobody wants to be the guy to say that and then have a bunch of people angry that they spent money on something and it turned out to be awful and be like, well, you said it was good. And so I try to look at things as, here's the differences between the two as far as features go. You know, different flight model, etc. You know, you can switch radios, whatever. Feature sets, and give you the information, but at the end of the day, the individual has to make that decision for themselves. You know, we each have to make the decision of, do I want to buy this, do I not want to buy it, based on such features. And you know, and that's what I prefer to do. You know, there's too many people trying to compare them in a which one's better than the other, and it's just not a fair thing to do. The fair thing is, I provide you with the information, you make a decision based on that. Now, if you want my opinion on something, that's one thing. You know, so it's like, I like this. It has a few issues, needs a little bit, you know, a patch, and, you know, it'll be, as Smurf would say, tickety-boo, but it's not better than the Just Flight PA-28. It's just different. It has different features, a different styling, it's replicating a different era, so it's not better, it's just different. And that's my soapbox. Kozaki Flyer, I have a fixed income, I have to choose carefully. 100%. I'm basically in the same boat in a maybe different way as far as fixed income goes. So, you know, I have to be choosy. I get a little bit of extra leeway because the streaming does bring in a couple bucks here and there. But, you know, by and large, I'm on a fixed income, so I have to be choosy. What am I going to get? What am I not going to get? You know, what am I going to sacrifice to be able to do, to be able to get this thing? You know, and in my situation, the Coronado one fit the bill because the price was lower, it had the features I wanted, and that's the end of it. It doesn't make it better than the Just Flight, it just made it fit my check boxes. the Just Flight absolutely looks fantastic. It sounds fantastic, and it has some very neat features. But at the current moment, I just can't justify it. I can't justify that purchase. So, and I really appreciate that about Murph too. Is he doesn't try to paint something as better than the other. It's just different. I'll give you the facts about this has this has that, and this is what I think of it. Make your own decision based on your situation. I can see Africa in the distance, says 99 Owl. Thar be land. Land ho me mateys. Yarr. Or something. I don't know why we became pirates. Do you remember the game, what was that game? It was by Microsoft. It was for the original Xbox, and it was kind of like Sky Pirates. Paljo B just decided not to torture myself watching comparison after I've made my purchase. It's done. Enjoy it. 100%. Dangerous Brian, the default aircraft are more than ample for those that do not have the funds. Absolutely. Kozaki, Just Flight looks great, just not 100%. And that's where it comes to. Everybody has to make their own decision on, is X worth it? That's the basis of having a nice free market. I can say it. It's all about the voluntary transaction. I see a thing, I like a thing, and I decide if the price that it's being listed at is worth it to me, and if it is, then I shall purchase it at that price. If not, I'll wait for a change in price. And the seller is in no way obligated to meet that demand. It's in their best interest in the long term, but at the end of the day, everybody's got to make their choice. Everybody is free to make their transaction. We cannot buy everything. Choice, absolutely, Goblin, absolutely. I I have to restrain myself and be like, I want that warbird, and I want that warbird, but my wallet's going, no, you can't get them all, at least not all at once. Because I swear, if the P4, if a P40, a Corsair, another Spit, and a DC-3 were to all come out at the same time, I would be having very much a crisis of, I want them all, but I can't get them all, sort of thing. Yeah. But again, without beating a dead horse, it's, I go nuts. Trust me, with the things that I'm hearing of things that are coming up soon, I'm already going nuts, going, I need them all, but I can't get them all at the same time. Viper Strike says he'd get the DC-3 and Corsair. Goblin would get the P-51 and the Corsair. I would definitely want the Corsair. The P-51's a must-have. The DC-3 is a must-have. I need the DC-3 because I really want to do refly the paratrooper drops over Normandy. Because I think it'd be perfect to do after the Benelux and France update. Jay Whitaker would get the P-40, hands down. Floyd says there's a lot of enjoyment to be had from the base game aircraft. Absolutely. Without without an argument. The default aircraft are very good. It's nice to showcase these add-on planes. But at the end of the day, if you only have the base sim and the base aircraft, you're good. You have some really nicely made aircraft to play around with. Toss in some free community mods here and there for the aircraft that need it, and Bob's your uncle. You're going to be having a blast. I did not want to blare you out, but my French heart spoke. I got it. I do not blame you at all. I still need to pick it up because it looks amazing. Red Dragon says, when I buy something for the sim, I look at it as coming from what I would be spending socializing with my friends in normal times. I just found a new set of friends to socialize with in these different times. 100%. That's a great way of looking at it, too. Dangerous, I would buy the mosquito one. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So it's just, you know, there's a lot of people out there who be like, oh, I want it all for free, and you know, that's a fair mentality. Nobody likes paying anything for, you know, for things, but it is what it is. It's some things you just gotta pay for. I flew experience gets nice. There was something else. Some add-on I saw that was giving an option. It might have been it's available on Sim Market. It's some retro airplane. It's like made in the 30s for probably racing. And you get an option to either use a starter or to prop it. I cannot remember what it's called. Look at that fort. Look at the waves. Look at the waves crash. Uh-oh. We lost a banana. These devs are going to be around for some time, so absolutely. A SPAD 7 would be huge. Oh, yeah. But the World War I aircraft, wouldn't they be a hoot to fly? You know, you can fly them on like IL-2, but those early aircraft were not easy to fly. Now, we have it pretty good nowadays with modern aircraft, and even in World War II, things were much easier to fly. You know, but in World War I, they were still figuring all that stuff out. It hadn't been around for 20 years even at that point. Yeah. You talk about overstressing. My goodness. Look at the scenery. Red Bear 111, that was, yeah. Oh, what in the world was the name? I need to remember. Let's see, nothing. 99 out. Place below used to fish for tuna when there were still enough. Ha. Nothing but canvas away. Absolutely. What runway? That's a lot of windmills. That's a lot of damage. So we've got a choice of. Well, it's not wanting to tell me, but it's kind of a 927 situation. Winds are 090 at 27, so we'll take a runway 9er or close to it, because for some reason it doesn't want to tell me what it has. It might be an 8. Do you have a lot of wind? I'm only asking because the ripples in the ocean normally it's slick until the wind is cranked up. So my winds currently are reading 082 at 20 knots. So yeah, the wind's kicked up a little bit. Cannot remember for the life of me the name of that game. Microsoft did it years ago for the original Xbox. And it was like biplanes and pirates and stuff. It was by Microsoft. Yeah, something similar to 09, Brian. Big cliff ahead on the African coast is one of the Pillars of Hercules. Gibraltar is the other. Nice. It had some fancier name. Look at that. There's the Thunderflies. Yes, there were. Yep. Crimson Skies. That was it. Who remembers Crimson Skies? Here at night, you can see the city lights of Tangier in Morocco. Nice. So, I was debating whether I wanted to fly in Gibraltar or try flying in Casablanca, but the Piper Arrow just wasn't fast enough for some of the legs of the Casablanca trip, so we might need something a little faster like a Mooney. Or, yeah, maybe a Bonanza. Well, if that didn't get hit by the photogrammetry real well. Now, I remember one of the early Firefly flights with Murph. We flew to Gibraltar, and it was a phenomenal trip, so I decided to do my own. There's a lot of autogen roads here. I wonder, here in France province, we have currently 90-kilometer wind. Really interesting. Because Aki remembers Crimson Skies. I never played it, but it always looked cool, and I really wanted to get into it. And then I never had an Xbox. I never had the original Xbox, but it just looked fun. Down there is Tarifa, now windsurfing hotspot. Nice. It's a nice looking beach. Oh dear. See, there's a bug. Oh, look at the beaches. These are some nice beaches. Keeping an eye on those thunderflies. 99 out says, under Franco, this place was heavily fortified. They feared attack from Africa. There they go. Look at them. Nicely done. So we will be flying across this little channel. I think they're the Straits of Gibraltar. We'll be flying across over to the Africa side and then flying up. Or flying back north. Flying back north. Right. Words. Yeah. Look at all those windmills. My goodness. Yeah, it looked amazing. That'd be kind of neat if they revisited that one. Flying towards Cudanao, Spanish enclave on African soil. Neat. Absolutely beautiful here. Great having a local history, and absolutely, it really adds to the experience. Abnormal 34 asks, where are we? We're just about to Gibraltar. So we're over, I believe, the Straits of Gibraltar. Spain is over here. All my fans on the hillside waving as the clouds are starting to roll in. And that's Africa. And the clouds really are rolling in. What's the weather turning to? Weather 09027 knots, broken at 2100 feet. Ooh. So we're looking at some pretty I guess it rains down in Africa. Nope, Gibraltar is the final stop of the night. Although Sicily may be on yet another stream. So we're going to drop a few hundred feet. We'll probably go to 1500. Make sure our altimeter setting is correct. Yep, and we will be landing over in yonder area there. There goes the thunderflies doing their thing. We don't need this guy anymore. So about 500 more feet we're dropping. So, Lima, X-Ray, Golf, Bravo. Yep, we're landing on runway 9. And it seems like we're going to have one heck of a headwind. So we're in here and waiting to hit the button, Blammo. We're gonna turn the dome light on because it's kind of dark with the broken clouds. So when you take the ferry from Algeciras to Ceuta, you are still in Spain the whole time. Nice. Now, out of curiosity, 99 Owl, perhaps you can answer. What is the historical significance of the Rock of Gibraltar? It's not something I've quite understood. So if you could shed some light on it, I would be greatly appreciative. As the thunderflies roll past. Look at that. Isn't that neat? The ancient Greeks believed the Pillars of Hercules were the end of the world. Aha! Boy, we sure showed them, didn't we? Kuzaki the Flyer says, huge Royal Navy base. Ah, that would do it too. Silly Greeks. Thought that was the end of the world. How dare they not take a boat out further? Yes, let's get angry at the ancient civilizations of the world. How dare they not explore? Because they didn't have the means to. Gibraltar was key for the Royal Navy in World War II. I can see why. When you control either, well, if you can control the Nile, and if you can control the access of the Straits of Gibraltar, you control the Mediterranean. Later, of course, one of the naval bases protecting the passage to India through the Suez Canal. So now we can really see the lights of the fireflies. Gibraltar, Malta, Cyprus, yep. You gotta make the sound. Beautiful scenery. Just a beautiful area. Ooh, we've got, is that an Alpha Jet? I think that's an Alpha Jet. By just so. It's definitely a port area down below. Look at that. There's a heliport. Epic Fool, this heliport calls you out to you. And that's a very, very short runway. My goodness, good luck landing on that thing and anything bigger than a Cub. Oof. That is a tiny, tiny runway. I think it's only meant for helos. Famous airport in Gibraltar. They have to close the roadway. Yep, I remember that. Here they come. gonna go. So we're going to make our way to Gibraltar for a landing on runway 9 as we fly back across the Straits of Gibraltar. We'll turn on the face cam for dramatic effect. There you go, the thunder flies. Look at that. Even with the clouds, it's pretty. Nice landing strip for the Bolero. It would fit. We need an SF-240 Marchetti. Like yesterday, because that's a neat airplane. Is it the 240? I think it's a 240. I know the Irish Air Corps used them. So I'm waiting for Murph to pop in and correct me. As Super Typhon 173 is now following the channel. Many thanks, my dude. Hope you're well. Hope you enjoy the content as we're flying to Gibraltar. We're getting a heck of a wind. Heck of a crosswind truck crossing the channel. Should make for a very interesting landing. And we like interesting landings. We like something of a challenge. So we're going to get in here. We're going to get in the cockpit. We're going to change the heading bug a little bit to 330 degrees. Hit the heading selector on the autopilot. I am indeed flying the Arrow. The carrier is in fact there. It's off the wing right out there. So one of the 5 locations for the Hard Deck Simulations carrier add-on adds a carrier fleet or a carrier group off the coast of Gibraltar. 100% Wombat. But even with the cloudage, it's such a lovely, lovely approach. The scenery is still beautiful. And the wind, oh boy, the wind. I think the music's somewhat appropriate. The package from Halo Reach. We're going to watch the Thunderflies fly past real fast, because that's what they do, and they do it well. And then we'll get into the cockpit and get ready for landing. Alright, so we're kind of hitting north on the heading bug. We're going to start wooing the aircraft down. Make sure it goes to full. Waiting to get under 120 for the gear to go down. Here we go, and we're under 120, gear coming down. So now we can really reduce the throttle. I'm going to go ahead and disengage the autopilot. 1 notch of flaps coming down. See the thunder flies off in the distance yonder. Some cruise ships in the harbor. And we're just waiting to lane up. We're on a very long base. And a little bit of power back in. Prop goes to full. We can do that. So we're just trying to hold on to north. The good news is we don't have to worry about a crosswind. The bad news is it's a heck of a headwind, so we may not use full flaps regardless. So we're trying to, yeah, getting it a little closer is not going to hurt nothing. There's the Thunderflies doing their thing. There's the runway. So we're going to go ahead, keep our eye on that. Put another notch of flaps in. So we're approaching at about 80 knots. What about it? This is a challenging landing. Maybe not challenging, maybe challenging is the wrong word, but it's very scenic. It's definitely scenic. See the carriers off in the distance to the right. Absolutely, Wombat. Mine was bumpy as all get out. Yeah, well, we'll see how we get on. Start reducing throttle. So our ground speed is going to be next to nothing by the time we get lined up. So we're going to go with full flaps. Continue reducing the power just a little bit to get on glide slope. Hopefully. Add a little bit more in. We want about 500 foot a minute. So that's all the flaps that we got. Power. Use power a little more. Definitely not a speedy approach, but that's kind of the way you want it. That's why we land and take off, or part of the reason why we land and take off into the wind. There it goes, Viper Strike in the extra. So, almost at idle. Throttle at idle, we start rolling out. And she's floating. She'll just float all day long if she wants. Start lifting up for flare, little left rudder. There we go. At 23 foot a minute, that's pretty good. So we can see where the road is right there. We're gonna ramble off to the left here. Do that. Parking brake set. Mixture comes off. We're gonna go turn name tags on, turn me off, traffic, name tags on, apply and save, go back, resume, and camera, come on, there we go. Zooming. So for scenic approach, runway 09 is open for landings here in Gibraltar. Not to be confused with Jabroni. We see a nice look at a big yacht, some patrol boats, a cruise liner, and the Rock of Gibraltar. As the stream comes towards its end, there's Kozaki Flyer inbound. Nice landing. Here come the Thunderflies. Doing what the Thunderflies do. Red Dragons is in. Nicely done, Thunderflies. There's Druid in the Seminole. I believe this is one of the handcrafted ones, if I recall correctly. Here come the Thunderflies. There's Hammy. There's Tycoon. Catbat 9 is in. Viper Strike keeping the onlookers entertained in the extra 330. There's Lotus Geek. Papa Joe B. Tycoon says coming in hot. There's Dangerous Brian. In the Mooney. That can't be everybody. There were so many of us. That wind, though. Yeah, that made it a real challenge. If you were in anything much smaller, like a 152 or a Cub, you probably would have been going backwards. You would have had to land on 2.7 facing the wind and land with the tail first. Got the Thunderflies coming in for their landings. We'll make sure to catch them. They deserve the attention. They deserve the spotlight because they do a phenomenal job. There's Viper Strike. Here they come, HCBR Frozen Steve Solo, Skydive Man, Warhamster, and Test Pilot 72 with a beautiful formation landing. Well done, well done. Absolutely fantastic work by everyone. So as we look on to the Rock of Gibraltar, we turn that button back on, and I'd like to give a very heartfelt thanks to everybody that came along for the flight, whether you lurked in chat or chatted in chat or flew along with the flight. To all the new follows, new subscribers, to all of you, thank you oh so much. It means so much that you come along with me on these flights. Papa Joe B says these last two landings were probably the best I've ever done. Nice. But until next time, stay tuned for Murphy flying tomorrow. We're not quite sure what he's flying, but it'll probably be in Ireland, and we'll probably be indulging since it's St. Paddy's Day. So until next stream, be good to each other, stay safe out there. We'll see you next time. Take care.